So he truly was a shepherd, and he encouraged all of his priests and bishops to be shepherds as well.
His message was so simple, and that was to have mercy.
Obviously, we're going to mourn him, but be grateful for what he has given us and given the church.
Many Catholics, close to 600,000 Catholics here in our diocese in Western North Carolina, wake up this morning to this sad news and realize that the one thing that is assured for all of us is that death is not the final answer, but rather that we have been promised everlasting life.
Well, tonight, many people across the world reflecting on the loss of Pope Francis. The Vatican listing his cause of death as a stroke and irreversible heart failure. A live look here from St. Peter's Square in Vatican City. We're a little over an hour away before sunrise there. But once light breaks, thousands are expected to reflect on his legacy and leadership for the past 12 years. Following his death, the Vatican sealed his official residence. Pope Francis chose not to live in this place and instead lived in a small suite in the Vatican guest house known as Santa Marta. The sealing of the traditional residence symbolizes the start of the mourning process. This is just one of many traditions that happen during the passing of a pope. We'll touch on more in a few moments. The Pope's passing hitting the world very hard, though, but especially here in the United States. The Empire State Building lit up in gold and white for the next 3 hours to honor Pope Francis. A Gallup poll from 2020 shows that a quarter of Americans said that they were Catholic. President Trump posting on Truth Social, "May God bless him and all who loved him." The president also ordering flags in the U.S. to be flown at half staff. He announced he and First Lady Melania Trump will attend the funeral expected to take place later this week. Here in the United States, many Catholic people attending masses across the country. His passing coming as a shock to some, but many also happy that the Pope was able to participate in Easter Sunday. Many able to receive his blessing then. Well, there were also events right here in the Queen City, like this prayer and remembrance ceremony at St. Patrick's Cathedral in Dilworth. Bishop Michael Martin with the Catholic Diocese of Charlotte taking a moment to think on the Pope's legacy. He says he'll be known for reaching out to everyone, even those outside the faith.
I have close to 600,000 Catholics for whom Pope Francis is our spiritual father, and for them it's a very sad but hope-filled day, but also for all residents of Western North Carolina, people, like I say, people of goodwill that I think realize that Pope Francis was a message of hope for all people, and certainly was a person who tried to reach out to people that were on the margins. And so I think that's a lasting legacy that he'll have for a long time for us to cherish.
The bishop talking about the people on the margins. Pope Francis was well known for his efforts to provide for those who needed help the most. Today on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus, we had an interview with an advocate from Camino Health. She spoke about what the Pope's loss means to the Latino population.
This is a really tragic death, especially for the Latino community. When I woke up this morning, I looked at my phone and that was just all of the notifications that I had. And I just remember calling my mom. She is a devout Catholic. I grew up Catholic, and this really was, one of those shaking moments, something that I know that I'm going to remember and that the Latino community is going to remember for the rest of their lives. And so we're very sad today. And I don't know if you had a chance to mention this, but Pope Francis, he was the first Latino Pope to ever, forever there to be. So it really was, he really did transform a lot of how Latinos view themselves within the leadership role, but then also helped shape how other people should view Latinos.
That interview, it actually went on for 10 minutes. We were able to bring it to you commercial free without interruptions, all during Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. It's one of the many things that we're able to feature right here on WCNC and WCNC Plus. So please download that on your smart TV. It's easy to do so and free. Speaking of WCNC Plus, right after this newscast, we're streaming the legacy of Pope Francis with a special look back on his life. Again, you can download WCNC Plus on your TV and watch for free tonight. Many are asking what's next, though. Pope Francis will lie in state in St. Peter's Basilica. The process to elect the next pope is known as the conclave. It will take place over the next few weeks. Once the period of mourning is done, cardinals under the age of 80 from across the globe will descend on Vatican City, holding a series of meetings and conversations. Some are already there. The conclave will then have a vote selecting the next pope. Right now on our website, Megan Bragg will verify what our team is breaking down with the conclave and the entire process, what we could expect to see over the coming weeks. Find that on WCNC.com or through our app.